Let's do some synthetic division. Synthetic division is a process that we use to divide two polynomials in place of long division. Let's do it. Here I've got a trinomial divided by x minus 1. To set up synthetic division, what I'm going to do is take the 0 from that divisor, which is the x value that makes it 0. So that's going to be a positive 1. I take that positive 1 and I put it in a little box here. Next to that box, I'm going to put all of the coefficients of my dividend. But when you're setting up your coefficients, you want to make sure that all of your powers of x are represented. Notice that in that dividend, I've got 2x to the third as my first term, minus 2x, and then minus 3. I start at x to the third and I end at my constant. So I should have all of the powers of x represented in between that. I should have 3, 2, 1, and then my constant. But I am missing my x squared. So I'm going to put a 0 to hold the place for that x squared. So my coefficients starting with that x cubed are 2, then 0 for my x squared, negative 2 for my linear term, and negative 3 for my constant. This is all I need to do to set up my synthetic division. So I'll just jump in. I start by dropping my 2. I then multiply this 2 by the 0 up in the corner. 1 times 2 is 2, and I write that number in the next column. I add down, 0 plus 2 is 2, and then I multiply by that positive 1 in the box. 1 times 2 is 2, and I write that number in the next column. I add down to get 0, multiplying by 1, I get 0, and I add down to get negative 3. All that's left now is to put these numbers back into my expression as the coefficients on the corresponding terms. Remember that we started with x to the third. That dividend initially had a degree of 3, which means that the degree of my quotient is going to be decreased by 1. So the degree of my quotient is 2. In other words, since I started with x to the third in my dividend, I'm going to start with x squared in my quotient. So my coefficients are 2, 2, 0, negative 3, and I start with x squared as my first term. So 2x squared, then this is a positive 2, so plus 2x plus 0, which means that that negative 3 is my remainder. So my polynomial altogether is going to look like this. 2x squared plus 2x, I don't need to write plus 0, but I do need to include my remainder. So I'm going to subtract 3 as the part that didn't divide. So 3 over my divisor of x minus 1. So again, that part didn't divide. It's a remainder. It's still left in the fraction. I was able to divide everything else out, but not that negative 3. So this is the quotient of our two polynomials above. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.